Hello, everybody, and today I want to talk about how you can overcome the fear of being cringe. And to be fair, it sounds crazy to even say the word cringe in 2026, but it's something that still circulates around in people's minds. It's something that people don't like to be, people don't want to feel that way, mostly because of how they would be perceived as on social media and in person. And in this day and age, the world is becoming a lot more judgmental. I definitely believe that there is such a huge lack of individuality. I don't know if that's a word, but there's a lack of individualism. If that's a word as well, I don't know. But a lot of people don't want to be themselves anymore. And it really sucks to say that because what makes us so beautiful as humans is how different we are from each other. And that difference we all consist of is what brings attraction, it's what brings friendships and bonding and better experiences. Because most people will want to fit in a sort of community of people who look the same, dress the same, act the same. And the reason why they want to be there is because it's easy. When you're there, you can't be judged. You can't be perceived as different. You can't be made fun of. And so, people acting all the same is something that seems as if it would benefit you because, firstly, you're just going to think, oh, if I just dress like these, like do my hair like these guys, and do my makeup like these girls or whatever, no one's going to judge me. I'll be alright. But it affects you in many ways that you don't really notice. Firstly, being, having regular conversations, going on dates, and just times where you've got to describe who you are. And you can't because if you're just going to say the same things as other people, you're not going to bring out that creativity you've got. You're not going to really say, what your little hobbies are. You're just going to say what everyone's is. So everyone's on the same wavelength. It's it's shameful, it really is because when you go on dates nowadays, everyone always wants to think, I'm hoping they're into movies. I hope they like TV shows. I hope they like songs and all that. And who isn't? I'm sure the majority of us are into stuff like that. But that being the standard and not something like I love to paint, I love to sculpt things, those little play things. I don't know what it's called. I really forgot what it's called. But when you can make shapes out of things, whatever, I don't know what it's called. But they typically probably wouldn't say that on a date, mostly because it's different. And in their mind, they know that being different makes it a lot harder for you to connect with other people. So they would just say the basics like I like listening to the music, I like watching films and TV shows and all that. And then it's just like, oh, perfect, we're on the same wavelength, perfect, we like the same things, we're going to get along. And that lack of individualism and just appreciating who you are as a person and your own habits makes it a lot harder for you to progress in life because ultimately you're progressing as the wrong type of person. You're progressing as someone who puts on a mask, someone who doesn't show who they really are because they don't want to be judged. And when you do that for so long, you get absorbed in that type of person. You lose yourself. You lose those little quirky interests you used to have to the mainstream ones because you're so used to just being this type of person who's just into what everyone else is in. And when you're like that, you can't appreciate the things you like that you don't tell others. And so when you realize that, that's when it becomes the first step to overcoming your fear of being cringe is to accept that we're all different. We all have our own interests. We all do different things. We all act different ways. And when you actually start to realize that, you know what? I'm living this life for me. I'm going to be the type of person I am. Feeling cringe or feeling like you're being judged or just like different, you won't feel that. People may see that in you, but the big difference is that you won't feel that. And so when you begin or when you get to the times where you start to meet the right people, They will know that you're their person. They will know that, oh, I finally met someone different. I finally met someone who's not like everyone else, acts like everyone else, thinks they're Batman or fucking something like that. I finally met someone different. And it's very rare to meet people like that. So you may as well be that person. So that is what I would say is the first step to overcoming your fear of being cringe, is to just accept who you are, accept your quirky interests, be yourself, dress how you want, do your hair how you want. That's how you overcome that first step. And the neck and there's not the neck and the sorry guys, my words is like so bad. I don't know what's wrong with me. But the second step that I would say is good to overcome your fear of being cringe is to realize that we only have one life. Is to come to terms with the fact that this is a single opportunity for you to embrace what you have, to get out opportunities, to become the person you want to be. Because this life is not easy. Nothing in life is easy. And there's a lot of journeys, there's a lot of roadblocks, there's a lot of personal things you might have going on. And especially with the way that the world is like nowadays, how easy it is to be judged. Living off of the someone else's perception of you and sitting beside that and just accepting that is something that will make it harder for you to appreciate your life. It will make it harder for you to die knowing that you've done the right things, knowing that you didn't let anyone opinion affect you when in fact you did. So if you want to overcome your fear of being cringe, if you want to be someone who just wants to be themselves, when you start to realize that this is your only opportunity to just be you, then it becomes easier. You start to realize that I'm not going to be here forever, and opportunities don't come very often. So if I do something cringy, oh no, I feel a bit shit in the moment, but am I going to think about that in 5 years? Maybe. Probably not. Are they going to think about it in 5 years? They probably won't even remember it happening. So what I'm trying to say is that accepting and coming to terms with the fact that this is a single opportunity for you to just be you. You must take that, you know. And being cringe, it's just a definition. It's not like a standard. It's not something that people hate, you know, because really, you could say I'm wrong because there's a lot of people who hate cringy people, but I've always believed that the ones who are like mad cringy, who always seem to be different, are the ones who have the happiest lives, the ones who always bring good energy, and they're not dry, they're not nonchalant, they're just like good people, good vibes, good energy, they're just great. And so, why would you not want to be that person? You know, why would you not want to be that one person who just brings the vibes, the person who can bring that cringiness? Because every friend group's got to have at least one person who's like that. If you've got a friend group just full of nonchalant people who don't want to embarrass themselves, it's fucking dead. Like, that's just no. You've got to have that at least one friend in there who's just like, this is my life. I've got one fucking life, mate. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to act how I want. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to do what I want. Who cares? And you may as well be that person. You may as well step out your comfort zone. You may as well realize that people are going to judge me all the time. I'm going to get judged. People are always going to judge me for who I am. But you've got to remember that you're doing this for you. You're not doing it to prove a point. You're not doing it for recognition. You're not doing it to be seen. You're doing it for you. You want to make your life worth living, and you want to do what you feel is right for you. And the opportunities you get as well is really good, because when you overcome your fear of being cringe, you get like this door opens to like a whole new world where, because of who you are, because of the happiness you project, because of the energy you bring, you can get so much more opportunities in your life. You can meet so much good people. You could advance greatly in your career. There's so many great things you can do simply by overcoming your fear of being cringe and being judged. So many opportunities can land right in your hands if you just take that first step. So, I want people to understand that it won't be easy. It's very easy to say all these things than to actually do it. But it's a journey you should be willing to take if you really want to grow in your life. It's a journey you should be willing to take if you believe that you've still got time, in which we all do, to turn things around and to become better people. And it's just something that we should all try. We should all give a go. Because even me, I don't like to be cringy, I don't like to be the one who just lives as if they've got one life. But I would love to be that person. I would love to be someone who doesn't give a shit about being judged. Because then it's like, it's a whole new world. And so I'm with you guys on this because I'm still in the process of trying to get out of that zone. But it takes time. You won't all of a sudden change in a week or a month, probably not a year. But good things come to those who wait. And if you actually try to make a difference in your life, then there will be a change. You've just got to take the first step and just go with the flow.